Acquitted 4 times before in the 25-year-long case, sociologist Pınar Selek was retried with the demand for aggravated life imprisonment following the Court of Cassation's reversal decree. In 2021, a lawsuit was filed against AFP photojournalist Bülent Kılıç, who was detained under torture while covering the Istanbul Pride Parade. The prosecutor, who issued a verdict of non-prosecution against the police officers who beat the journalist, made the suspect police officers complainants and charged Kılıç with resisting to prevent the execution of his duty and insulting a public officer because of his duty. The Diyarbakır Chief Public Prosecutor's Office completed its investigation into 20 journalists, 16 of whom were arrested on June 16, 2022. 22 people, including a cook and an interviewer, were indicted for being terrorist organization members. The trial of the citizens who were detained during the press declaration organized within the scope of the festival organized for the 20th anniversary of the foundation of Istanbul Bir Mayıs neighborhood started with the allegations of making propaganda for a terrorist organization and violating the law on meetings and demonstrations number 2911. Journalist Alican Uludağ, who was on trial for his news report on Hamit Kocabey, a former member of the Council of Judges and Prosecutors who allegedly resigned upon the instruction of Nationalist Movement Party leader Bahçeli, was acquitted in the first hearing. The lawsuit filed against sociologist Veli Saçılık, who was dismissed by a statutory decree issued within the state of emergency and charged with insulting the state for reacting to a poster containing hate speech against Armenians, ended in acquittal. Human Rights Association Siirt branch's former chair Vethaydın Yüksel, who was charged with terrorist organization membership due to her rights advocacy activities, stood trial. Bir Gün Daily's managing editor Mustafa Kömüş, who was charged with insulting a public official due to his duty for the news article titled "Luxury for the AKP, Misery for the People," was acquitted. Batman Chief Public Prosecutor's Office filed a lawsuit against visually impaired Hasan Yalçın for aiding a terrorist organization and making propaganda for a terrorist organization on the grounds that he constantly reads the organization's books and buys its newspapers. The trial of journalist Merdan Yanardağ started on the charge of insulting the president due to his article series published in Bir Gün Daily with the title "Fascism and Islamist Fascism." The trial of journalist Furkan Karabay started on the charge of insult and slander upon the complaint of President Erdogan's lawyers due to the news article titled "Istanbul Detail in the Antalya Operation in the Judiciary. What are the appointed prosecutors indicative of?" An investigation was launched against writer Aslıhan Gencay due to publicly disseminating misleading information for her article on the ill treatment of arrested journalist Derya Ren in prison. Republican People's Party leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu's lawyer Celal Çelik was acquitted of the charge of insulting the president after he said, "When the dictator is gone, the judiciary will end its captivity." A verdict of non-prosecution was issued in the investigation, which included technical and physical surveillance, launched by the Istanbul Chief Public Prosecutor's Office against 69 journalists with the allegation of terrorist organization membership. Theologian and writer Cemil Kılıç was attacked in front of his house. An attempt was also made to attack the press statement organized in front of Kılıç's house to protest the attack. A reporter and cameraman who tried to film the attack were detained by the police. Cumhuriyet Daily columnist Barış Terkoğlu's article, titled "Waterside Mansion Party Against Kılıçdaroğlu," and 18 related news articles published in Cumhuriyet Daily were blocked from access by the Istanbul 7th Criminal Judicature of Peace. Access to news about Professor Dr. Ekrem Kalan, rector of Antalya Alanya Alaaddin Keykubat University, who came to the agenda with bribery allegations, was blocked. Chaos GL Association published the Human Rights of LGBTQI+'s 2022 report. While the most prominent violations in the report are police attacks, detainment and accompanying physical violence in peaceful protests, LGBTQI+ persons were deprived of their rights in many areas, from ban on assembly to ban on performance, from banning books to banning symbols, from censorship to ban on publications. While hate rallies were held under state protection in 15 cities, hate speech was disseminated by high-level public administrators.